Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gauranitai Jaya.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai.
Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Jaya.
Jaya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Jagadguru Prabhupada Jaya Jagadguru.
Prabhupada Jaya, Srila
Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva Jaya, Guru Deva Jaya, Guru
Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva,
Jaya Gurudeva.
Haribo, Haribo, Nityananda.
Haribo, 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 Nityananda, Haribo.
Haribo, Haribo, Nityananda.
Jai Guru Haribo, 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 Jai Guru Haribo.
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 Right.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, your voice was breaking quite a bit today. I don't know why.
Because
We
moving
heard
around,
only 50% of your kirtan.
moving away from the computer, that's why.
Okay, hope it will not break. Yesterday was also, there was a little bit break in the voice.
Okay.
Hopefully today we'll have a clear class.
All right, very nice. Let me know.
Haribol.
And when we start the class, let me know.
Sure, Prabhuji. Haribol.
So let's start chanting. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Guru Hare Krishna, everybody. So today we're talking from and discussing chapter 14, which is entitled The Three Modes of Material Nature. So please let's put our hands together and chant together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Jnana Timiranda Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmei Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamajyam Dadati Swapanantikam Vanchakalpa Trubhascha Kripasindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya Namo Namah Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshishanyavadi Paschatadeshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa Adi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita Tharup Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai.
Jai.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Krishna. All right, so today is a very interesting chapter because after this chapter, in chapter 15, Krishna is going to bring us home. Like, till now, we're not really homed in. So chapter 15 will really home us in with the yoga of the Supreme Person. But in this one, Krishna is showing us that there is a bit of a trap here, and this material world is like a trap. And how do we escape this trap? How do we get out of a bad situation like that? So, here in this chapter, Krishna introduces a very interesting model. It's the model of the three modes of nature. The mode is the word, Sanskrit word for mode is guna, like that. And guna is also sometimes described as a rope. Guna is like a rope. So like that. So there are these three modes of material nature which permeate everything that we see, that we hear, that we taste, that we touch, and that we smell, like that. And our lifestyle, our attitude, our behaviors, all fall under the domain and influence of the combination of these modes, like that. And that determines our sense of happiness and well-being in the material world, like that. But through closer analysis, when you get a little closer, we can perceive that people in this world are functioning in a way with a mistaken understanding of what free will means. They think that free will means I can do anything I like, which is at one level true, but not really, because, and we'll see why. Because what's happening is that they're becoming impelled, more or less forced, by the influences of the combination of these three modes. At any one time, one or more modes are working on every one of us. And we're like impelled like that, forced like that. Therefore, unless we are able to transcend these modes, we will sort of like actually perpetually be in the material world and in that what is called the samsara chakra, the birth, death, old age, disease, birth, death, old age, disease, for 311 trillion years, a little over, more than that, as Vishnu is doing one breath, and then breathes in, we're back again in Vishnu's body. And so like that, we just go in and out, in and out, in and out. We actually, mini in and out, also go out a little bit in every day of Brahma. In the night of Brahma, we sort of go out. We knock out, we become a little like unmanifest, like that. But when we breathe, when Vishnu breathes in, we really go right into his body and stay there for quite a bit of time before we come out again. So this just continues, this cycle keeps continuing, as we heard in an earlier chapter, Krishna describing Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam, that this world is going in and out, coming and going, like that. So basically, now in the first 9 verses, in the first verse, Krishna says something very interesting. He says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, again, I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained supreme perfection, the supreme perfection, like that. So we also should attain that supreme perfection. So in these first 9 verses, the 3 modes that influence a person's character, behavior and approach to life are being described by Krishna. For example, he says, if the mode of goodness or sattva is predominating, one will aspire for and generally achieve long-term happiness, even if one experiences some temporary inconveniences. So this is like people in the heavenly planets. They sort of really long-term happiness. They have some temporary inconveniences. As we know, sometimes the demons attack, and then the demigods have to go into hiding. Sometimes amazing personalities, great personalities like Hiranyakashipu, they will create disturbance, and even the demigods are disturbed at that time, like that. And then those taken by the mode of passion, or rajas, are usually satisfied by immediate short-term gain, but doesn't expect much more from life. And that's like earthly people, short-term gain, but you can't expect much out of life. And then those who are dominated by the mode of ignorance, tamas, rarely achieve any happiness at all. And they are like more in the hellish planetary systems, like that. And by the way, our planet is the last planet in the middle planetary systems, and then the hellish program starts. And so even in this planet, you notice some hellishness, and the people just have hardly any happiness in their life at all, like that. So in this way, the material world is populated with living entities inhabiting different conditions of life, like that. So then, in the next 4 chapters, Krishna sort of describes a little bit of a race for prominence. Amongst these modes, there's a bit of a competition. You might remember earlier on, I said these 3 modes are controlled by 3 ladies. They're very, very powerful ladies. Mode of goodness by Mother Lakshmi, the mode of passion by Mother Saraswati, and mode of ignorance by Durga Devi, like that. They're all 3 very powerful ladies, extremely powerful. Any one of them can overpower all of us. 3 of them put together, out of the question. And still, they're also backed by 3 very powerful personalities. Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. These are also very, very powerful personalities, amazingly powerful personalities. But there's a bit of a competition amongst these ladies, So they compete for supremacy with an individual. Who's going to be able to control them better? They have a little bit of fun with the devotees, with the people of this world. They're like puppet masters, and we're like the puppets. Living entities are the puppets, and they pull the strings and have a good fun amongst themselves. They see which one is able to manipulate each one, each person. So actually, it's pretty nasty because we really manipulated, badly manipulated, you might say. So in general, when goodness clarifies, when goodness is sort of dominating, there's some clarification. Things clarify and pacify the individual, and it motivates joy, like that. So clarification comes, you feel peaceful, and some motivation is there for joy, for wisdom, for altruism and kindness. These types of things suddenly come to the surface, like that. When passion is dominating, then it confuses and provokes the individual, So the individual then has greed, wants to do something big, is greedy to do something big, angry and frustrated. And we can see in this world, a lot of that happens. So you can see how the mode of passion is operating. And when ignorance is actually dominating, then it sort of impedes one's life. It sort of like creates blockages in life, and results in things like wanting to sleep more because things are not going well. If I can just sleep, I feel a little more peaceful. Feeling indifferent towards things, as indifference, callousness, don't care, laziness, and inertia, like that. So Krishna is describing these. I'm zipping through these for one really important reason. I want to get to the essence, Okay, so these things are actually, blocking us, like that. So then, what are the type of actions that happen in the modes Krishna describes in the next 5 verses? And he shows that reincarnation is the process by which the same soul gets new material bodies based on activities performed in the present body. So this is the law of karma. whatever we do now, the new body that will affect us. And of course, now means the continuation of the past as well. Our activities are the result of decisions that we make. Our decisions are ultimately based on the modes which are being influenced, that they're being influenced by. So we can see that the modes, how they do that is that they actually affect our decision-making process. And then we make decisions based on how the modes are affecting us. What's happening at a particular time? And we make these decisions based on that. Thus, Krishna predicts the future destination of the individual is based on the predominating mode in their life. In short, those situated in the mode of goodness will go to the higher planetary system so that they can have that long-term joy, because that's what goodness does. Unfortunately, it also has a bit of a side effect. That side effect is impersonalism, like that. Those in passion live in the earthly planets, and then those in ignorance, like we said, go down to the hellish planets. And now comes some very interesting part. This is the part I wanted to get to, because this is how do we actually make our lives purified? How do we purify our lives so that we can transcend these modes? So here, I'm going to read some verses, but let me give you a bit of a synopsis, and then I'll read the verses, and then we'll talk a little about it. So throughout these various descriptions, we can see how the modes are affecting us, right, individually. Get some idea. Because by what we're doing, it can tell which mode are we in. So this chapter really concludes by explaining the ideal state that ensures how a person can become successful life after life. Although goodness is said to be the purest form of existence in the material world, it still implicates us to the law of karma. It's still within the law of karma. And so, as you're doing the good things in the mode of goodness and enjoying, many other things can happen simultaneously. Other problems can arise at that time. So to become totally free from these karmic reactions, one must transcend even the mode of goodness and become situated on the spiritual platform, which is called Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. Now this, Krishna describes, is only possible by engaging in Bhakti Yoga, which is why the middle 6 chapters are very important. You can see how, again, it shows that importance. With unflinching determination, Bhakti Yoga with unflinching determination, taking inspiration and support from those who have already transcended the modes. And here Krishna is giving a bit of a clue, because sometimes we don't have unflinching determination. But if we are following somebody with unflinching determination, which is why they're saying inspiration and support from those already who have transcended the 3 modes, then also we get the same success because we are connected. This is called yoga. And that is why the yoga of the Supreme Person will bring us home on this issue. How do we become fully connected like that? So Krishna explains the character of those persons who have become perfected transcendentalists. This is what I wanted to read a little about today. And then who can enjoy nectar even in this life, just like devotees enjoy nectar even in this life. The nectar of prasadam, the nectar of kirtan, the nectar of association, the nectar of deity services, deity worship, darshana, the nectar of education, the nectar of farming. So many different nectars are there, nectars of Sankirtan, like that. So the first verse that I wanted to read more about is something that personally I got very encouraged by, and it is very encouraging. So in this verse, Krishna is actually speaking, and so Krishna says, trying to turn my light on here so that I can read properly. Okay, so he says, Sarva yonishu kaunteya murteyaha sabhavanti yaha tesham brahma mahad yonir aham bij pradapita. He says, it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that it is I who am the seed-giving father. Now, this is very encouraging. The reason it's very encouraging, when Krishna accepts the position that he is the father, what is the father's role? The father's role is to make sure that the mother and the children are all happy. How nice, right? So Krishna is accepting the role. He's saying, yes, I accept that responsibility. I will make everybody happy. Now we can see why Bhakti Yoga is very important, because what Bhakti Yoga does is brings us closer to Krishna. Just like in Christianity, there's a story of the prodigal son. The prodigal son moved away from the father, became a homeless person. Then somebody who knew the father and saw the prodigal son said, oh, I know who your father is. Let me take you back home and you will become completely happy. So this is the spiritual master, the guru, the Marg Pradasha Guru who shows us the path, the Siksha Guru who actually holds our hands, walks us back, and the Diksha Guru who introduces us into the Parampara. So often the Diksha Guru is also the Siksha Guru. Sometimes, it's more the Siksha Guru who does it. Sometimes it's more, and who's not the Diksha Guru. And sometimes it's just the Marg Pradasha Guru who does the most of the heavy lifting. So here, when you go back home, what did I say? Chapter 15, Krishna brings us home. And now we're home, then now we're feeling fine. Everything's fine. So this is a very important verse. And then the next verse I wanted to read about, Krishna describes when we do accept correctly this information, this process, then what is our behavior like? How do we act? What are our actions like? And so Krishna described in verses 22 through 25, which is part of these final verses. He says, this is Krishna speaking, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present, or long for them when they disappear. Now, why does he use the words illumination, attachment, and delusion? Because this is what the modes do. The mode of goodness gives you illumination. The mode of passion gives you attachment. And the mode of ignorance gives you delusion. So he's saying, you don't hate the modes. Don't hate the modes and what they give you when they're present or when they're absent, when they disappear. Who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of material qualities. So these are just the reactions of these material qualities. Okay, the 24 ingredients of material life that we spoke about earlier in chapter number 13, like that. And then now the three modes are being introduced, and how all of them are interacting with one another. The jiva and the material energy, like that. So remain undisturbed through all these reactions, remaining neutral and transcendental. Neutral. Who is going to be neutral? The soul. The body, the mind, the intelligence, and the conscious, and the false ego, these guys can't be neutral because they belong to the material world. They're biased. They're biased towards the material world. You see. So, but the soul can be neutral, and the soul can also transcend, remaining neutral and transcendental. See, the soul can transcend. Knowing that the modes alone are active. It's just the modes that are doing this. They're using all these combinations of the 24 elements, and they're just having good fun with the living entity, and at our expense, the living entity's expense. So it says here, knowing that the modes alone are active, and then it says, who is situated in the self. See, be situated in the self. Understand who you really, really, really are. Don't get caught again and again with identifying yourself with the senses, the mind, the intelligence, and false ego. I call them SMIFs, SMIF. Senses, mind, intelligence, false ego. Easy way to remember, SMIFs. You are not the SMIF. You are Atma. You are spirit soul. And neither are you Paramatma. That's the other mistake people make. Jump on the other side, fall too hard, jump too hard, fall on the other side of the walls. They think I am Paramatma, meaning that's impersonal realization. No, we're not interested in that. It's not true. So then it says here, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress. Why? Because who is really experiencing the happiness and distress? Smiths. But because I think I'm the Smith, I'm also now going up and down with the Smiths. Not a very good idea. Who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with equal eyes. See? So again here, piece of gold is put in the middle. Remember we said the combination part. Lump of earth, piece of stone, and a piece of gold. Okay, so here it put but the point is that all three are equal because they are actually a combination of just the modes working. That's creating this type of situation. And we should see all three have their purpose. Earth is very important. We are earthly beings. Earth is obviously very important. Gold is very important. It's considered in this world a mark of wealth. It can actually help feed us like that. So that's also important. And then stone is also important. I mean, stone, some of the stones are precious stones. They're more expensive than even gold. Even more valuable sometimes than earth. So you can see, right? Equal vision with all three. And also similarly, just like, you will pick up gold, but you will throw away the stone and throw away the earth like that. No, not like that. Who is situated, and then it says here, who looks upon all of these three with an equal eye, who is equal towards desirable and undesirable. Desirable and undesirable. You've got to be equal to both. Why? The desirable will encourage you to go closer to Krishna. The undesirable will contrast against the desirable. So that, because what is desirable for the living entity, for us, what is the best thing to be desiring? Desiring to be with Krishna. Undesirable things that are stopping us. So they're like the contrast. Just like, again, I spoke about the jeweler. The jeweler uses jewelry and it has a mannequin. The mannequin is the contrast. The jewelry shines very clearly on the mannequin and shows clearly how it'll be very good on you, like that. And then the person comes and buys the jewelry. Who is steady? Yes, there are going to be issues because the three modes are working on us, but remain steady. Situated equally well in praise and blame. We tend to do better in praise, not so good in blame. We should be equal. Remember, praise is okay. We accept it, we pass it on to who really deserves it. Our authorities, our spiritual master, Guru and Krishna, like that, and their associates. And when blame comes, remember we spoke about it. Criticism, how do you handle criticism? 5 ways. So we handle blame like that. Honor and dishonor, same thing. Honor and dishonor. Remain equal. Who treats alike both friends and enemy. Both the friend and enemy. Treats them alike. Why? Because they're both children of Krishna. Paramatma is sitting in all of them. Yeah, and remember what we said? Who may be a friend and enemy here is not same in the spiritual world. So let's look at the long-term issue here. And who has renounced all material activities. Material activities means activities that are displeasing to Krishna. If you have a job, that's not displeasing to Krishna. If you have a business, that is not displeasing to Krishna unless you use that job and business to do things that are hurtful to yourself, your best interest, your self-interest, your well-being, and the well-being of others. And of course, becoming ignorant of Krishna, disregardful of Krishna, disrespectful towards Krishna like that, forgetful like that. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. So that's your proof. Have you transcended or not transcended the modes of nature? So Krishna gives a very easy litmus test here. It's a clear test, easy in the sense that the test really works. Every time you test it, it works. It may not be easy to do these things, but the fact is that it actually works. When you test it, you can tell which side of the equation we're on. And then he speaks another verse, a very famous verse. Prabhupada often quotes this verse. He says, Mam tuyo avibhacharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan Samitityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service. See again, going back to the middle 6 chapters. Unfailing in all circumstances. This is the unflinching part. At once transcends the modes of material nature and thus becomes and comes to the level of Brahman. Although he says Brahman, in the next verse, he clearly says that, and I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. So we can see that he is he himself is actually the basis of impersonal Brahman. And because he is the basis, he is Ananda himself. He is Sarvananda. He is the highest Ananda, Upananda, like that, highest, Ati Ananda, like that, Mahananda. This is Krishna. So, in Lord Chaitanya's pastime, is also called Nityananda, like that, Akhandananda, like that, Akhilananda, like that. Many nice words are used like that for Krishna. So here we can see in this chapter that if we follow those who are resolute on this path, and we become resolute on this path, to stay on the path, just stay on the path. Prabhupada said, somehow or the other, hang in there. He even said at one time, hang in there by the skin of your teeth. Now, if you know, there's not much skin on the tooth. You know, they say if you do certain things, you can wear that skin away. Not easy to wear it away. Why? Because the enamel, it's an enamel. And that enamel on the tooth is actually the toughest part of the body. There's no part of the body as tough as the enamel on the tooth that's covering the tooth. So, hang in tough, like they say in English. Hang in there. That's why devotees often say, what's happening? Oh, hanging in there, like that. So if we stay in there in this process, keep ourselves in the fire instead of, jumping out of the fire. When we jump out of the fire, then the spark loses its energy, you see, once it leaves the fire. But when it's in the fire, the spark is energized. So we stay in the fire of good association. We stay in the fire of reading Prabhupada's books. We stay in the fire of chanting. We stay in the fire of eating prasadam, dancing in front of the deities, being devoted, having some discipline in our life, like that, and we stay in the fire of encouraging others, reaching out to others with love and devotion, with love and trust, Prabhupada said, compassion and tolerance, reaching out to others so that we can touch them in a way that they can also, re-enter the fire and stay in the fire, not leave the fire also. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I'm going to stop here. And when you talk about chapter 15, I'm going to put this together for bringing it home when you do chapter 15. So I'm going to stop here and ask if any of you'd like to say something or ask any questions.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So far, I've not seen any question on the screen.
Okay?
Yeah, audio was perfect.
Oh, good. It's when I move my mouth away and things like that away from it's a smaller computer. So obviously the mic thinks I'm not in front of it anymore.
No problem.
Okay.
I think it was good. So I've allowed the participant to mute and you can start posting your questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. This is Shyam Chandra Das.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have a question, Prabhu. So this is on the three modes, Prabhuji. I'm not even talking about transcending.
Yes.
So basically, if you see the day, I think someone or I think once I'm talking to someone, they explained in such a way that morning time will be mode of goodness, afternoon will be mode of passion, and when it is getting evening or night, it is mode of ignorance. It will be dominating in nature. That's what they mentioned, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So mode of goodness, we can make utilize of it, but mode of passion, that means at the time we will be at office. So it can be passion or it can be ignorant mode. So that will definitely have a high effect for the total day, because we are working now, Prabhuji. So most of the time we'll be in the mode of passion and the ignorance. So how we can control it and make sure that we can keep Krishna in the center? This is a common question everyone will ask, but I'm not getting that, Prabhuji, because mode of goodness, I can make use of that one, the morning hours, but the day progresses, right? And when it comes evening, so that afternoon times and evening times, that has a high effect on our sadhana, because we are working, Prabhuji. So please let me know, because how we can get out of this and make sure that at least we are traveling towards our goal, because I cannot focus or concentrate on Krishna consciousness when we are at work because of the pressure or greediness or whatever the environment, Prabhuji. Please help.
Yes. So basically, what you are describing is one of the influences the mode has. Mode has influence on us based on time, right? But time is not
Yes.
the only thing in our lives. We have many other things in our lives. There are 24 elements. Time is one of the elements, one of the 24 elements. So yes, although in the morning it is mode of goodness in terms of time, morning can also be mode of ignorance for a lot of people who are living their life in that type of way that it'll bring about ignorance in their life. You see what I'm saying? Like, say, for example, if they drink all day long and then they can fall off to sleep. So in the morning they would be, inebriated, they're drunk. So they're in the mode of ignorance, even though the day is in the mode of, the morning part is in the mode of goodness, doesn't mean the person is in the mode of goodness at that time. See what I'm saying? So first of all, let's remove the confusion that you're going to be in a mode based on time. You're going to be in the modes based on a whole bunch of different variables. Okay? And so because it is like that, the way to handle the modes, no matter when they hit us and in which way they hit us, is to be always situated in this fire that we spoke about, the fire of Krishna consciousness. So what is this fire of Krishna consciousness? The fire of Krishna consciousness is that we remain humble and understand that I am servant. It is those who are masters who will have a problem during the day. The servants won't have that much of a problem. Those who have servant attitude, because they are following their master. So who is the master of the servant? That becomes the question. So for us, yes, we have temporary masters during the day because our boss is the master. That is true. But if we are eternally servants of Krishna, we're eternally servants of Guru and Krishna, we're eternally servants of the servants of the servants of the servants of the gopis of Braja, like that. Gopis Bhartu, Pada Kamale, or Das, Anadas. Then we are then not so much affected by whatever mode might be during the day, whatever mode might be because of the food, whatever mode there might be because of the attitude, whatever mode there might be because of the mind, whatever mode there might be of the desires. All these are affecting the modes. Modes are affected by all of these. So if you are in the morning part, okay, you're in the mode of goodness, but you're feeling sleepy, you want to sleep, you just want to laze around during the day, right? I just want to be lazy during the day. I'm just gonna get out of bed late, have breakfast in bed, and just laze all day long, right? Okay, so you're in the mode of ignorance at that time. Even though in the morning it's mode of goodness, you're really in the mode of ignorance. The morning is in the day of goodness. You're not in the day of in mode of goodness. The morning is in mode of goodness. You're not. So basically, the idea is that when you're at work, even though the time might be like that, Krishna says, "Time I am." So if we see time as Krishna, and we see that we're working for this particular boss, right? And that the boss is like an authority figure, and that we accept his authority so that we can actually get some benefits, which benefits we will use for Krishna's service. That's what Guru is, right? Guru is authority. He gives us benefits. We can use in Krishna's service. You can see? So we're sort of like connecting everything to Krishna. We don't see anything separated from Krishna. We also see the boss as connected to Krishna. Boss is also Krishna's servant, right? The work site belongs to Krishna. Krishna says, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. There is not a place on this planet, we saw that in chapter 5, there is not a place on which a point of a needle can sit that does not belong to Krishna. So the place is also Krishna's. So we see everything in connection to Krishna. In fact, we see suddenly Krishna may just walk into your office. If you're thinking like that, Krishna can walk into my office too. Yes, he can. Prabhupada used to see that. No matter where Prabhupada was, Prabhupada always expected, oh, Krishna may just turn up. Right now, Krishna may turn up. So you can imagine the excitement in his heart, how happy he's feeling. Krishna is going to turn up. Now, you might say, I'm at work. If I keep thinking that Krishna is going to turn up, who's going to do the work? No, you can do the work and still be in that attitude. Because when you're in that attitude and you're working at the same time, what will happen is your work will become better. This is the same thing about chanting. A lot of people tell me, when I tell them, you should know the meaning of your chanting as you're chanting. So they think if I'm thinking of the meaning, then I won't be able to chant. Not true. Not true at all. In fact, your chanting will become a lot better when it is with meaning. Just like if I'm not thinking while I'm speaking, then what will happen to my speaking? It'll become meaningless, but I'm not thinking, right? But I'm thinking as I'm speaking. Why? As I'm saying the word, I'm simultaneously thinking because I'm choosing the words according to what I would like you to understand. They say the meaning of communication is the response that it elicits from a person. So what I'm saying to you, and then you will do something, that is the meaning of my communication. But you can see while I'm communicating with you, my mind is working with meanings and connecting it to a word and choosing the word and using that word comes out of my mouth. How simultaneously it's happening. There's not even a nanosecond difference between my thinking and my speaking. So similarly, there's not even a nanosecond difference between our thinking, our meaning, and the chanting. Similarly, there is not a nanosecond difference between Krishna and anything that we do. To become Krishna conscious means you're attached to Krishna. There is no daylight between you and Krishna. Nobody can put a straw between you and Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. You see what I'm saying? So the idea is, and sometimes what people do to encourage themselves, have a picture of Krishna on the desk. Okay, I can't think of Krishna, but I can see Krishna. Oh, Krishna Kirtana. I can see him now, right? I don't have to think because my thinking is not that good, so I can't imagine Krishna as well. So something is there that reminds me of Krishna. Krishna's holy name, some associate of Krishna that's very dear to Krishna, like Radharani, in Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, Tulsi Maharani, a cow. Cow is very close to Krishna. Krishna considers the cow his mother. We chant Hare Krishna, but he chants the cow's names on the beats. How important cow is, mother cow is, father cow is, baby cow is, the cat. So something, connect at all times. See, so there's no difference, no space between you and Krishna. And now you're doing everything, you're going to be more stable anyway, because you'll have some confidence. Krishna says, Bij Pradapita, I am the seed-giving father. I'll take care. Father is going to take care. Suritam Sarvabhutanam, I'm your best friend. I'm always thinking about you, Krishna says. Mevamsha Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta, Sanatanaha. Sanatana means I'm always thinking of you. I'm always with you. He actually comes as Paramatma, he also comes in person. Like that. So the idea is that live your life like that, then no matter whether you're in the day part, which is mode of goodness, or day part that is mode of passion, or day part that is mode of ignorance, it won't matter to you. It makes no difference. You're going to continue being connected and let the modes do what they want to. They want to play their game. Let the ladies play their game. They want to have some good fun. Let them have some good fun. They're also children of Krishna. All three of them are children of Krishna. One of them is a bit of a consort of an expansion of Krishna. But they're still children of Krishna. Kela Ishvara Krishna Arasubha Bhritya. And Bhritya also means like children, subordinate, like that. Servant, beloved, lover, beloved, Purusha Prakriti, like that. So these Matajis want to have some fun. Let them have fun. Girls like to have fun, right?
Yeah.
But we don't want to get into that fun and games where we can't handle it. We're going to get ourselves in a lot of trouble. Become forgetful of Krishna, and then all sorts of things will happen, go wrong. No, we stay connected. Does that make sense, Prabhuji?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yeah, clear. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Manish Prabhu, you can go next. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Manish Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Sorry for that. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Very nice class, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, one question, these qualities mentioned here about devotees, they transcend these modes of material nature. So, Prabhu, how do we understand, like, after the Kurukshetra war was over and Krishna took Maharaj Yudhishthir to Bhishma about the instructions, like when Yudhishthir Maharaj was feeling very, I don't know how to explain that, but so was like that knowledge or was the modes of material nature affecting Maharaj Yudhishthir at that time, or how do we understand that situation?
No, Maharaj Yudhishthir was acting under the instruction of Lord Krishna. They went to speak with Bhishma Dev based on Lord Krishna's desire. They were fulfilling Lord Krishna's desire, And so when you're fulfilling Lord Krishna's desire, that is not the modes acting. That is the Shuddha Sattva, means now it's the Lord's. No, doesn't matter if the Lord is desiring something and we're doing according to his desire, but we still can slip back into the modes if we don't do things properly. If we can see Yudhishthira Maharaj, even though he was under the shelter of Krishna right through the battle, right through a lot of his life, he still made some, got slipped back into what you call the modes, like, playing tash, and things like that, the dice, things like the game of dice, placing his wife on the bets, like that, things like that. So we can see that even a devotee can actually temporarily slip back again. So the idea is that some things the devotees do are actually transcending, but then they sort of slip back every so often because it's the phase when they're sort of like in practice of, like, think of this as a drama, right? So now the drama is going to show at some point and everybody's going to come and watch the drama. That's called the drama. But prior to the drama, what happens is the actors and actresses go through all of the thing in a rehearsal or a number of rehearsals like that, you see. Right? So our life is like a rehearsal right now. And the drama plays out when we are actually with Krishna. That's when the drama actually plays out. We're with Krishna. Now that can happen here too, by the way. Even while we're here, it can happen. Devotees do get into a real face-to-face with Krishna. And they spend some time with Krishna. And then Krishna may slip them back again here because he wants them to do some service in this material world. So the others may become encouraged like that. But you can get into that type of phase. That's what actually happened with King Yudhishthir and his brothers. There were times when they were really in the drama with Krishna, and then there are other times when they sort of slipped back from the drama a little bit. And some people may say that it was still drama because Krishna may have wanted to teach them some lesson or something like that. That's true, but technically speaking, you can say the modes were operational in that situation. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little like that. Very much. Prabhuji.
Oh, thank you.
Prabhuji, and then Mother Divya was saying about something about dedicating. We dedicate this program. Thank you, Mother Divya, for reminding me. I was going to say it at the end, but thank you for saying it now. But we do dedicate this program, everything we're doing in this program, for Mother Neela Madhava, and also for those devotees in New Jersey that we said, the full family. The father of the family passed away. This is the family that brought out that program called Viva Cultura. You might remember it came through maybe last year before last. Viva Cultura. Indradumna Maharaj came through with a band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a big event.
Sorry?
Yeah, I remember that we had a concert.
Yeah, it was a concert. Yeah, exactly. And so the family that more or less sponsored that program, the Raval family,
Mhm.
So the family's name is Beta Prabhu. He passed away. But the other 7 members of the family have all got COVID-19 as well.
Got it.
So we also pray for them, because they're obviously very close devotees to us in the sense, we've met them here, and so, we have a loving relationship with them like that. So we're praying for these devotees that, and anybody else we may not name, but Krishna knows in our heart, we are looking to all devotees who are being in some way negatively challenged right now, and those who are at risk. All of us are at risk.
Yeah.
Everyone actually in that sense. But we wanted to mention the name of Mother Neela Madhava because she's very close and she's in our community. And right now she's going through a very challenging time. There's going to be an operation they're going to do on her because she had bleeding in her brain, and as a result of which she had a mini stroke, and is kind of currently recovering, but not out of the woods yet. So we're praying that she may recover nicely and get back to normal life and normal devotional service like that.
So can you all chant Hare Krishna for her, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Sure. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Yeah. Thank you, Mother Divya.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I was about to read that only. She texted in the group also, so I'm glad you picked up.
Sometimes I can catch it a little bit.
Nice. So, Vinu Mataji, Hare Krishna, all class and discussions super excellent. Thank you all, and especially Nityananda Prabhuji, Divya and Vinu. Thank you so much for making comment every time. That's really nice of you to appreciate. Then we have Murlidharan Prabhu, who is fighting with the corona at hospitals, trying to save devotees. He somehow makes time to join, and he has a question. So Murlidhar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavad Pranams, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Right.
So once again, thank you so much for this enlivening class. I had a question. So basically, I have to give an apology first. It is said that after hearing the whole of Ramayana, one should not ask who Lord Rama is. I'm in that situation because this concept of 3 modes, doing everything is very difficult to understand. It's something we hear all the time, and in theory you can understand, yes, but to practically realize it is very difficult. You keep wondering, where is this real me then? I mean, if this real me would stand up for himself, it will be so much more easier to understand that there is an imposter trying to be the real me.
Yeah.
It is sometimes said that the soul is sleeping, but then the soul is called the real ego, but then the symptom of the soul is consciousness, and that is how we identify with the senses and matter. And even exalted souls like Arjuna sometimes get overcome because the whole setting of the Bhagavad Gita being spoken is because of that. He declined to fight.
Right.
So I find it sometimes very difficult to realize what this is and where is this real me sitting. I mean, we can get some idea. We have seen movies like Matrix and things like that. You have an idea which is, but still that person really knows who he really is. So, and I also had a subdivision question to that. How does astrology figure in all this? Because if you take out a birth chart, it'll tell you this things are going to happen. And, so it looks like your hands are tied. So if you can enlighten us, Prabhu, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Very, very good question. Thank you very much. So basically, how do we realize who we are and keep that sort of going all the time and not like, how sometimes candle is burning and then the wind comes and it sort of blows the light out, So we go lights out so many times ourselves that we actually, because the wind of the modes comes and then blows the candle out, So we don't have the protection system to make sure that, no matter how much wind comes, the candle is is burning all the time. We've got to put that kavacha around us, that, that covering around us, that Covering is the covering of the devotees, the covering of knowledge, the covering of the chanting, the covering of prasadam. These things all make us a kavach, a nice kavach, and then our flame is always burning, doesn't go out every so often. But the real reason the modes are difficult to understand is because we're trying to understand it with our mind. You cannot understand the modes with the mind. The reason being that the mind itself is within the modes. You see, say for example, you want to see the whole forest, what is happening. Then if you're inside the forest, you will not be able to see the whole forest. You have to get outside the forest and look from above. Then you can see the whole forest. Otherwise, you can't tell the tree from the woods, like that, they say. The saying in English like that. So the idea is that we tend to use the wrong parts of us to try and figure out the total reality. We're using our mind, our intelligence, our false ego, to sometimes even our senses. We want to see something, hear something. But these are not the processes of understanding Krishna consciousness. There's a very nice verse in our scriptures. Ataha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indre sevan mukhi jivado swam eva spuriti adaha. So basically this says that his senses, mind, intelligence, are not going to be able to figure out the total reality, which is Krishna himself. But if we serve with our tongue, and what is seven mukhi? Jibhado. Jibha means to serve, the tongue. How do you serve with the tongue? We vibrate the name of Krishna. We always glorify Krishna. Satatam kirtayantomam. Everything we do is glorification of Krishna. Right now you're serving so many people who are in difficulty. You see them as children of Krishna. So if you see them as children of Krishna and you're serving them because you're serving children of Krishna, that is Sankirtan. That is Sankirtan. You see. And then also you taste Krishna Prasad. Whatever you eat in your mouth, before you put it, offer it to Krishna. And say, Krishna, please, you eat Krishna. I will only eat your remnants. There's a very simple method. Sometimes I say it and people, take advantage. But, if you just say Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu 3 times, Krishna will accept that you're offering it to him. But, if you can do a little more elaborate, in your mind, think of a tulsi leaf, place the tulsi leaf on the item and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare 3 times. That is better. Anyway, if you want to be lazy, it's the other one, but it's not lazy, it's correct. It's not. I shouldn't have used the word lazy because anything with Vishnu is not lazy. But the point is, don't shortcut. It's shorter cut. Vishnu is very kindly, that's a shortcut. But the idea is we can offer and then eat. And then when you're eating, also don't be distracted by other things. Really, Prabhupada, whenever he eat, he put everything aside. In fact, I just saw today a very nice video. Prabhupada sitting in front of a blank wall and eating. He doesn't want to think anything else while he's eating. He just wants to relish prasad. So relish, close your eye and relish prasad. Relish Krishna's mercy. Prasad means the mercy of Krishna. Sevan mukhe jibado swam eva spuriti yada. Then Krishna will appear in person. He will manifest. Swam eva spuriti yada. So when we do it that way, then the modes will become understandable. Now you'll understand. Now you'll know how the modes are working and everything. Because Krishna will give us the realization. Remember it said in the previous chapters, you have to receive the knowledge from a higher authority. It's in the heart. It's not by your effort, but by somebody placing it in your heart. So this is the process. And so if you look at astrology comes from the Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda starts by saying the purpose of the Atharva Veda is to establish, to confirm, to make certain that we know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. Like that. So the Vedas, Jyotish, is actually meant for that purpose. Of course, these days people have forgotten that, and that's why perfect Jyotish is not available in this world. But what Jyotish does is that it gives you your, shows you the future in a way that is your potential in the material world. Potential in the material world. Jyotish will never predict your spiritual life. it'll predict your material life. And if your material life is connected to Krishna, in a sense, it is predicting your spiritual life in that way, but you have to connect it. Plus, understand, it is your potential. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. If Jyotish says you're going to become a billionaire, doesn't mean you're going to become a billionaire. You could actually become lazy and not become billionaire. But it is true. One thing is true. In your next life, you may work hard and become billionaire. So Jyotish came out right. Jyotish will say in the future is something going to happen to you. Now, if you behave in a way that is not right, then that you're going to push that future away. That's all you're doing. You see? And you bring in more of your past and messing your life up. But ultimately, it is your desire and Krishna's blessing that makes something happen. See? Endeavor and mercy. This is the story of Dharmas. Two things are the cause. M stands for mercy, E stands for endeavor. Endeavor comes based on desire. So desire and mercy, these two will make things happen. If you desire something, you will of course endeavor for it. If you don't desire it, then really desire it. I mean, you might desire it, but not really, and therefore you won't endeavor. If you have a burning desire, you will definitely do something about it, That's why they say, light a fire underneath their feet. They would want to do something. How you see what I'm saying? Like that. So this is Jyotish, this is astrology. And of course, there are different types of astrology. Some astrological processes are more accurate, some are less accurate. But really, the accuracy of the astrologer is also based on the qualification of the astrologer. Some astrologers are more qualified. The most qualified astrologers are what we call personal astrologers. Means they don't just look at the mathematical equations, which also is in Jyotish, and that gives predictions based on that. They actually understand the personality behind. Like they're talking about Shani, they don't just talk about Shani means Saturn. They just don't mean the planet and the effects of the planet. They understand who is the Lord, Shani Dev himself. Who is Shani Dev? Shani Dev. And what does Shani Dev like? And who is his Lord? And what does he like? And how do they interact? And then how do they interact with us? And all that. So it becomes quite more interesting. And ultimately in Jyotish, you'll come to the point, Krishna is the Sarvakarana Karanam. Back to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7 through 12. Krishna is ultimate cause of all cause. So this is how it relates, Jyotish relates, or astrology relates to reality. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hopefully that was satisfactory.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for enlightening us. And looks like we can get somewhere only by the mercy of devotees. So I fall at the feet of all devotees and request their mercy. Hare Krishna.
All have to do that. These devotees all are treasure houses. Some of them have not realized it. Some of them are starting to deliver from the warehouse the products and services. Some are still holding it in their warehouses. How it is, open up the warehouses. Everybody open up. And the best way to open up is to start reaching out to people. It's the first class example is of Saraswati. Saraswati is a 5-year-old girl, and Prabhupada was giving a very nice class, nice devotees there. The nasty disciples were sitting in front of him with their dandas in their hand, and Prabhupada wanted to show who is the perfect preacher. So he said, Saraswati, please get up. And she was a 5-year-old girl, daughter of Mother Malati. You might know Mother Malati. Very nice devotee. Prabhupada, disciple Prabhupada. One time she was serving, I'm getting a little distracted. She was serving Prabhupada and his godbrother, Prashadam. The godbrother looked at Prabhupada and said, Mataji is serving. Brahmachari should be serving, right? You're both, renounced order. Why Mataji is serving us? So Prabhupada, he gave a look like that. Prabhupada understood. So Prabhupada said, this is Malati Devi, my disciple. And she will slit her throat for me anytime. And I will slit my throat for her anytime. This is Prabhupada. Very, 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 very committed to his disciples, very committed to Prabhupada. Anyway, so her daughter, her name's Saraswati. So he said, Saraswati, please get up. So Saraswati got up. Saraswati had a very nice relationship with Prabhupada. Prabhupada loved Saraswati, and Saraswati loved Prabhupada. So then she got up, and Prabhupada said, who is Krishna? And Saraswati said, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Prabhupada said, she is the perfect preacher. She is the perfect preacher. So, we can repeat, right? We can at least repeat certain things we know. And as you repeat, what happens is that lock becomes undone in your warehouse, Then the doors start opening and people see, oh, there is so much nice products and services here that we can actually buy and go back home, back to God, and then chant, feast, and dance our way back to God. Every devotee has this in them. Every one of them has it. Just some are a little shy, some are a little holding back because of their own doubts and concerns and this, that, and the other. Please understand, we are not the doers. The doer is Krishna. He's using us as instrument, just like I use this phone as instrument. See, like that. A phone can do a lot. If I do it and it lets me do a lot, it'll do a lot. If it doesn't work properly, it doesn't want to do it, no matter how much I swipe it, nothing happens, then obviously it's going to be a problem. So it's like that.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, can I read something?
Yes,
Thank
please.
you for the nice explanation.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the question. I was also reading a little bit about these three modes. So I found something I would like to read if you all allow.
Please.
This is reading from first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 2, text 19. And it says, I'll just read the translation. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of the nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy.
Oh, nice.
So irrevocable loving service is the key here, is what I understood.
Yes. Irrevocable means that it cannot be taken back. See, revocable means you can revoke something, means you can take it back. Revocable. Irrevocable means cannot be taken back. Nobody can force the devotee away from Krishna consciousness, because the devotee has fallen so much in love with Krishna, so much in love with the devotees and with the process of Krishna consciousness, that it's like become a one-trick pony, more or less. You can't do anything else but be Krishna conscious, like that. So the devotee becomes very, very engrossed in it, and engaged in it with a lot of love and affection. This is why nature is very important. Our personal nature is very important. Because if you do it according to your nature, you'll do that. But if you try to do it somebody else's nature, it won't work. Sooner or later, you'll feel bored or disconnected. But when you are being you, oh my God, it's just like little child, right? They're wanting to play with a toy. That's them. He wants to play with a toy. This is nature. He wants to play at that time. Nothing's going to stop him from the toy. You take the toy away, he'll cry, he'll fuss. I'm not going to eat now. Took my toy away. I'm not going to eat. Mother gives a toy on one side, food on the other side, gets the food in somehow, like that. So we're like that. We're not going to work without Krishna. That's it. I'm not going to do it. That's all right. You can die. That's okay. So what? I'm not doing it without Krishna. You keep telling yourself that. You keep telling yourself that. And one day you're going to do it. Because you told yourself, right? So you're going to do it. Somebody else tells you, may or may not do it. If you tell yourself, sooner or later you will do it. Because you'll convince yourself. See? You're convincing your mind, your intelligence, your false ego. The Smiths are getting convinced. This guy is, determined. Now we better start cooperating instead of kidnapping the soul and forcing the soul into situations that the soul doesn't want to be in. Like that. Very nice. Thank you very much for that, Sarojamala.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Bol. We have one last question, I think, today.
Okay.
If anybody else wants to post, we still have 6 more minutes. But last question from Arvind Balasubramanian Prabhu, who is very nice devotee. He's always asking questions. So nice. Thank you. His question is, Hare Krishna Prabhu, one of the constant reminders you always give us is to stay and remain humble. One of the groups of devotees who seems to effortlessly manifest this quality is the Sri Vaishnavas and the Bengali ISKCON devotees. Can you please validate / correct me?
Yes, I mean, I think you will find in every group, you will find people who are, humble and someone not so humble. Because humility doesn't simply mean outward humility, meaning that external humility. The real humility is service to Guru and Krishna, and service to mankind so that they can also do service to Guru and Krishna like that. This is real humility. So yes, there is no doubt that, many Bengali devotees, many Sri Vaishnava devotees, many, those devotees who are devotees of Lord Shiva, the Rudra Sampradaya devotees, the Kumar Sampradaya devotees, the Brahma Sampradaya devotees. Many of them have shown real humility, and this real humility even amongst Christians and Muslims and Jews, Hindus, different types, also have some real humility that has developed in them, because all of these actually will at some time bring you to the point of humility. And then what the humility does is that after the humility steps in, then your heart starts opening. You see, there are 3 steps. First step is humility. It's called dainya. Dainya means utter humility, just like more humble than a blade of grass. Blade of grass, very humble, right? But that's not enough, Blade of grass not going to go back to Godhead. Very humble, not going to go back to Godhead. Not good enough, because that's step 1. Step 2 is what is called Audarya. Audarya means opening your heart and making your heart available to everybody. Truly very generous person. In Mahabharata, example is given of Karna, Danveer Karna. Uddar Dil, open-hearted. He wasn't 100% there, but he was a good example. Very, very, he would give things easily to people, Even his life he gave because of that, you see. So this is called Audarya. Audarya is very important. You have to open your heart, reach out to others, and help them with no expectation of anything in return, nothing in return. Just you want to open your treasure house and freely distribute the treasure. This is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says this beautiful tree has got many nice mangoes, ripe mangoes, with no seed in them, just pure pulp, absolutely, completely relishable mangoes without pulp. All you have to pop it in your mouth and you'll explode with ecstasy. This Audarya. And then, even Audarya is not enough. The humility, Audarya, not enough. Now you have to have prema. Prema means love of God, love of Krishna. Now, once you have humility and Audarya, then prema will come. So Dainya, Audarya, and prema. These 3, if you remember, these 3 are the essence of everything. So come to prema means real love of Krishna. And when you have real love for Krishna, then even if you have some pride in you because you're proud of your relationship with Krishna, proud of Krishna, this, that, and the other, it won't harm anybody. They'll feel good about it. They'll feel nice about it, like that. And then, in Krishna Prema, we won't, say only that, we won't sort of like isolate people, You give me any group, you give me Ku Klux Klan, let's put it that way, KKK. These guys are really tough guys, okay? They don't like non-whites. But they are inside Ku Klux Klan also, there will be people who have humility. They even have Audarya, Prema. Prema means they open up to everybody. They do not see distinction between people, like Bhagavad Gita says. They don't see that, dog eater, an elephant, Brahmin. They see with equal vision. Samadarshana, like that. So ultimately, this is the 3 things we need to get. But you are right, humility is very important, extremely. You don't go to primary school, you're not going to get to high school. You're not going to get to university. This is an example. It's not like humility is primary school, but it's 1/3 of the 3/3. 2/3 is when you come to 2/3 stage, that's Maya Bodharya. You cannot have Bodharya without Denya. And you cannot have Prem without Denya and Bodharya both. So that's a 3/3. It's a little like, Brahmanda is 1/3, Paramatma is 2/3, and then Krishna himself is 3/3. Thank you. Wonderful point. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Can I have a question, Prabhu? Can I
Yes,
ask you a
Mother.
question? Dandavat
You're
pranams
speaking a
to you.
little softly. Your voice is a little soft, Mother.
Okay. Now, Prabhu, are you able to hear me better?
Yes.
Dandavat pranams, Prabhu. Very, very nice class. So I wanted to clarify one point, Prabhu, where you talked about the person, who's a devotee and he visualizes the stone and the gold equal. Does it mean you are comparing that between a dog eater man? He's treating that person the same way as others. Samadarshana, is that what it is?
No. Right, go ahead. Yes. You didn't finish it.
And then I had another question where the devotee also sees the energy of the Lord everywhere. I know that is a broader topic, Prabhu, but how do we understand that? And do we understand that only when we surpass the modes, or would we be able to even understand in the stage where we are able to see the energy of the Lord in everything? For example, I can understand Bhagavad Gita is talking about you have to think about Krishna while drinking water. Just see the clouds, you remember Krishna. That is the quality, the guna aspect of the Lord is what you're thinking when you're seeing the material objects around you. Just wanted to understand that perspective to how we see the energy of the Lord. And I'm thinking that devotees actually know what they are doing, what consequences it has got to do even before they take action upon it. Like you said, you were speaking while you were thinking and you were speaking, which is very little of a lag. Likewise, the devotee knows how to react because he sees the action and the consequences even before he does what he's supposed to. I mean, I just want to know how to tackle these nuances, Prabhu, trying to basically understand.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. The question you're asking is a very, very broad question, It would take a long time to completely get from one end of this question to the other end of the question, but suffice to say for now, that when we're talking about Samadarshana and we're saying that, we see the dog eater, the Brahmin, the elephant the same way, basically we see them all as children of Krishna, all related to Krishna in the sense that they're all part and parcel of Krishna in the sense that that the spirit soul emanates from Krishna, is actually part and parcel of Krishna, and actually is a best friend. He's the father, and the soul is actually a servant of Krishna, like that. So we see that all of them are there, but they all relating to Krishna in different ways. The dog eater is not going to relate the same way as a Brahmin. You see what I'm saying? So we don't say that is equal. That is not equal. The strategy is not equal. The principle is the same, but the strategy has to change. Just like, say, for example, you are in love, right? So the way you love your husband is not the same way you love your children and your boss and your friend. You see what I'm saying? But the love is there for all of them. But the way you execute that love, you perform that love, is very different for each of them. You see what I'm saying? And so that's basically what we're saying. Samadarshana means that the love is there, but how you relate is different because of the different consciousness levels they're at and the different roles they're playing in your life, like that. And then when it comes to the energies, yes, you see the cloud, you remember Krishna, you drink water and the taste of water is Krishna. We understand that Krishna and his qualities are not separated, you see what I'm saying? So actually, when you are tasting water and you're enjoying the taste of water, that is Krishna himself. Prabhupada says that's face to face with Krishna. You're facing to face with Krishna. But that's if you have that level of realization. So that realization starts with jnana. Jnana means a theoretical understanding, you see what I'm saying? It ends with vijnana. Vijnana means full realization. And vijnana also is not immediate full realization. Full realization comes in stages. Some realization, more, and then full realization. When you have full realization, you're face to face with Krishna. You see, it's a little like I'm traveling, mountain is very far away. I see the mountain, I see a two-dimensional shape, one color. I have seen the mountain. Then I get closer, I realize mountain is three-dimensional. There are more than one color on the mountain. There are more things on the mountain. I've come closer to the mountain. When I'm on the mountain, I can cup the water that's flowing down the brook and drink it. I can quench my thirst. I can pick up fruit from the tree, taste the wonderful tree, smell the flowers. Then I'm face to face with that mountain. So in the same way, first comes jnana. Jnana means a theoretical understanding, just like in school, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's a little like theory. Later on, that theory is going to turn to practice. And you're going to become so realized, you don't have to think about A, B, C, D, but you're actually performing the A, B, C, D at its best level. So in the same way, with Krishna, understanding from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the taste of water. And by the way, those 82 examples that he gave are only 82 examples. There are many, many other examples of Krishna. In fact, Krishna says everything. You're looking at your computer, that screen is allowing you to see something, that's the power of Krishna. That it allows you to see something, that allows you to talk to someone who's very far away, that you're able to associate with so many people around the world, not necessarily on this one Sangha, but in any other Sangha, sometimes it's all over the world, like Sarvajamata Prabhu does this wonderful Sangha, where everybody around the world gets together and chants Hare Krishna. So, how you're doing it through your computer, right? In fact, some people say it's illusion because it's actually, Rahu Ketu that makes this internet happen. They're the lord of internet, by the way. Rahu is the lord of internet. They say Rahu is bad, means your internet is good. So anyway, so my point is, this is why astrologers don't know, they really know what they're talking about. My point is that even that you're connecting to Krishna. And then as your realization goes deeper, you will see that everything is actually fully connected to Krishna. And that Krishna is everywhere. And that you are in the spiritual world. The fact that we're in the material world is not like we dropped out of some sky or something and traveled billions of miles and came to a material world. The material world is seated inside Golok Vrindavan as a separate paradigm. It's a different dimension. Same place, different dimension. When you're in this dimension, you think you're not in the other one. So we need to cross dimensions and get back to the original dimension that has all dimensions in it. We're in that one sliver of a dimension, and that's why we're unsatisfied. The soul is unlimited in the sense its capacity is unlimited. It itself is infinitesimal, but its capacity is unlimited because it is the child of the unlimited. Obviously, the child of the unlimited is going to be unlimited, right? The child of a sing is going to be a sing. Child of a smith is going to be a smith. So you get the idea now, right? So it's step by step. First, understand the theory. The theory is here in the Bhagavad Gita. We read, and then we're reading. Krishna is blessing us. So now it starts becoming realization. But realization starts faint realization, then grows bigger, grows bigger, grows bigger as we associate with it. This is why Sangha is very important. In the movement of things, starts with Sambandha, then Abhidaya, then Prayojan. Sambandha means Sangha, association, relationship. The relationship will give us process. The process will allow us to have the full realization, which is the goal. Does that make sense, Manaji? Or is that confusing?
Yes, Prabhu, it makes perfect sense. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
There's so much in this subject.
Right, Prabhu. One day you talk about this topic in depth, Prabhu. Definitely look forward to listening to that.
I can speak in depth and on these topics. There's such deep topics.
Sure, Prabhu. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Nancy Mataji says, Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Thank you, Nancy.
And then Chandra Prabhu has a question. Before Chandra Prabhu goes, I want to read Arvind Prabhu's reply. Jay, thank you, Prabhu, for your valuable knowledge, sharing Dhanya, Audharya, and Prema.
Danya. D-A-I-N-Y-A. D-A-I-N-Y-A. Danya. Danya.
Danya, Audharya, and Prema, yeah.
Danya, Audharya, and Prema. Yeah.
Prema, yeah. D-A-I-N-Y, yes.
Denya.
And Chandra Babu, you're next. And this is the last question for today.
Okay.
So we can pray with 9:40.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Chandra Babu, you're next.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu,
Thank you for the nice class. I have a question, Prabhu. How do you differentiate between a Madhyamadikari, like a Uttamadikari, Madhyamadikari, and a Kanishtadikari?
Okay. So Kanishta is a person who is starting the process and so misidentifies the personalities who are involved, you know. So Kanishta sees that the deity is worshipable, but the devotee is not worshipable because the deity is God, devotee is servant of God, why servant is going to be like master, right? Whereas the Madhyamadikari understands that actually the devotee of Krishna is very beloved to Krishna. So obviously we have to deal with the devotees really very nicely, you see what I'm saying? And then, but still distinguishes those who are devotee and who is not devotee. Some distinction is made. The Uttamadikari, like the Madhyamadikari, is fully understands that deity is important, devotee is important, and the Uttamadikari thinks that actually all these devotees are really great people. I am the one who's not great, but everybody else is great, so everybody is my master. You know what I mean? And so they serve other people with that mood that others are my master. Now, when it comes to preaching, when you're going out and reaching out to other people, you have to get off the Uttamadikari position. You can't be on Uttamadikari because then you'll never tell anybody what to do correctly. You see what I'm saying? You'll always be like, oh, you're so great, I am the one who's, please tell me. Nothing to tell you, right? So the preacher has to come to the Madhyam level and see a little distinction between those who are learning and those who are learned, those who are inimical and those who are friendly, things like that. Some distinction so that they can deal with different people according to their situation and not one what you call way for everybody, you know what I mean? And then some people connect and most people are not connecting because doesn't make sense to them. Say, for example, I go to a very born-again Christian person and tell them, you know, you should actually chant Hare Krishna. What do you think is going to happen? He's going to get very angry with me, right? So, you know, on the Madhyam level, on the Madhyam level, you won't do that. You will know that this is a Christian person, but you will speak to that person, how are you doing, what's happening in your life, hear their story, right? Once you hear their story, you know who they are. Now you can relate to them based on their situation, you see what I'm saying? And then slowly bring them up to full Krishna consciousness, step by step. So that a Madhyamadikari will do. Uttamadikari will never do that. He will think, I'm not qualified. Only person who's qualified is Krishna. And you know, all these other Prabhus can qualify. I'm not qualified. So in a sense, the idea is that, you know, the Uttamadikaris don't act like Uttamadikaris in the sense. In the heart, they're Uttam, but externally they act on a Madhyam level, you know, like that. And the Kanishta, they just see that, you know, I am devotee of God. I care about God. Everybody else is okay. Whether I care about or not is one more different, not so important. It's more important that I just relate with God like that. But that doesn't please God because God is interested in his people as well. He is never separated from his people. So he loves. Just like a parent will love their children, you know, they're not separate from children. Like imagine I care about the parent, but I don't care about the children. The parent is not going to be totally happy with me. You know, that's Kanishta Adhikari.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Chandravan Prabhu. Prabhuji, I just found something very interesting. We can conclude with this if you don't mind. I'll read this. This is His Holiness Jayapratak Swami Guru Maharaj's prayer to the deities. And you know better that he is on a Uttam Adhikari level, but see how he's writing to deities, how he's praying to deities in this situation. Can I read it, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Dear Shri Shri Radha Madhav Astashaki and Shri Shri Radha Madhav Mayapur Chandra, Shri Panchatattva Bhagavan, Shri Prahlad Narsimha, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani, Sudarshan, and our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We, the residents of Mayapur, submit our heartfelt prayers, acknowledging that the humanity of this world today is suffering the result of our own misdeeds and sinful activities, unmindfully performed by turning our face away from you. Let this calamity brought upon ourselves by our own terrible acts be an opportunity for the whole human society to elevate both their behavior and life to the mode of goodness. to have faith in the chanting of the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and be attached to rendering devotional service to your lotus feet. May the chanting of the holy name spread throughout the world. May the people of this world get devotion for your lotus feet, be purified and be delivered from this material world and all its sufferings. We humbly also pray for the benefit of the humanity that, if you so desire, by your sweet will, let everyone in this whole world who are at presently tormented by the fear and disease of coronavirus be cured to become healthy and peaceful in your service. Let the devotee doctors, nurses, and health workers who are serving selflessly in the front line, dealing closely with patients, risking their lives for benefit of others, also be protected from this virus, and let them be in high Krishna conscious spirit while discharging their duties. Over. Haribol.
How wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Should we now chant?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Namaste
Simhaya
Anya
Yeto yami tato Saranam prapaje Avakara Palabare Adhuta Sesha Dalita Kanabinda Keshavadishita Narari Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshamadrika Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Ananta Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Ananta Jayo Prahlad Jayo Prahlad Jayo Prahlad Jayo Prahlad
Gurudev Jai Hari Jai Jai Shri
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Such a wonderful class.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
His Grace Nityananda Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur.
Hare Krishna.
Sarojaya Madhav Prabhu ki
Thank you so
jai.
much.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Haribol. Thank you so much. Shamchandra Prabhu, Arvind Prabhu, Chandra Prabhu, Kanapati Prabhu, Krishna Prabhu. You did not ask any question today. Hope you are fine.
All good, Prabhuji.
Jai. Sudhir Prabhu, Divya Mataji, Veenu Mataji, Rama Mataji, Hamsudata Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Mughlidhar Prabhu, thank you so much. Kaushik Prabhu also joined, I think. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Chita Govinda Prabhu, thank you so much. Rupnaga Prabhu, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Then Mother Jayanti is
Sundari
also
Priya Mataji, thanks for the darshan. Sorry, something.
Sundari Priya is there. Nice.
Sundari Priya Mataji gave darshan for a quick 1 second and then she is vanished. You want to tell what's happening with the DTs, Mataji? Are you serving on the altar?
I'm not actually. Sadly, I'm not at this point.
I'm sure you're
Because the
missing.
dressing in the morning, I do the night dressing and everything. Now night dressing is morning dressing, so I'm missing them immensely.
I'm sure, Mataji, yeah. You were so dedicated in your services.
That's Krishna's mercy, Gurudev's mercy, and Mother Chandravali's mercy that she gave me that service. So I'm really missing it too much now.
This is like a special attraction with distance, you know. It'll be more
Yeah.
attached to the DTs.
But still, it's not the same. I don't know how separation can be higher than this. I've still not been able to grasp that part.
Tomorrow's question for Prabhuji.
How the mood of separation is higher, because it's too much, very hard.
Yeah, mode separation is hard when you can be very close to the person. It's not going to work.
But Radharani's been closer to Krishna more than anybody else. I don't know how that is higher, right? That mood, I still can't understand that.
Yeah.
He's the highest, right? And I don't know how that works really. That part really still amazes me, because now we are in those shoes. I mean, reading it is different, experiencing is different, but I can't say yes, that is true. At least I have not realized that much. That's what I'm saying.
Got that one day. Very nice. Very nice.
Jai.
Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, we are so lucky. Usually getting your association, it's very tough. But due to this calamity or something, we are getting your association regularly, Prabhuji. We are so fortunate. Spending time with you, that is the most lovable thing I anchor every time. But nowadays, I'm getting every day. So Krishna is so merciful. Thank you. Thank you.
Jai.
And Saroja Madhav Prabhu, because of you, this is happening. So I am so much indebted. Yeah.
I'm just as Prabhu, as His Grace Nityananda Prabhu explains always, I'm like a useless god.
No.
To Nityananda Prabhu, and he's transferring all the mercy.
Not at all. Anyway, Kaushik Prabhu is also there. Mother Nancy, thank you very much, all of you. You know, Mother Jayanti is still on. I noticed. Mother Rama Devi, STB. Who's STB?
STB, I don't know. Saroja Madhav Prabhu, do you know what is STB?
See, the two people I don't know is one is PM. I said Prime Minister.
Prime
and then STB. So we have to request these two devotees to rename so we can welcome them, you know.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Krishna, it's Mother Sucharya, STB.
Sucharya.
Mother Sucharya. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the class. Thank you.
I can rename her.
Mystery solved.
Who is PM? PM?
We yet to discover.
Hopefully. They'll unmute and then tell us.
So PM.
Prabhupada Maharaj, Prabhu.
No. Is this unmuted now? PM?
Yes. PM. We would like to know who you are. Please disclose. We want to welcome you with your real name. Haribol?
No, I don't know.
One day we'll know. Still a mistake.
Transcendental devotee.
Thank you anyway. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Hare
Krishna. Nice.
One day maybe Narendra Modi ji will also join like PM.
Hopefully.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Your desire is so strong, Prabhuji, it will happen.
Jai. Haribol.
Devotee desires, Krishna fulfills.
Yes.
Awesome. Haribol.
Nice.
So let's chant one time Hare Krishna and then end this. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Rama, 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 Hare.
Gauranga.
Thank you so much, Nityananda Prabhuji. Haribol.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Very much.
Jai.